Alright, so I got a little surprise for you guys. We're going to do a folding saw review today. I got the first one, my favorite. I've been using this, and it's really the only one I've ever used out in the field. It's a Bahco Laplander. If you know anything about folding saws or use them, you're probably familiar with this. It's great saw, great price point. Has a pretty aggressive blade on there with teeth, and it's a it's a good saw. I've used it quite a bit out in the field. The only downside to this one is the fact that I've managed to bend the blade a little bit, and that was just my own stupidity because I tried to take on a tree that was just a little bit too big. But anyways, long story short, I've been using this for a while, and I was watching one of my buddies' YouTube channels, Lars, hey, thanks a lot, and I noticed that he was using this folding saw made by a company called Silky in Japan. Now this is the Silky Pocket Boy. It costs a little more than the Bahco Laplander, and I watched him take down trees like nothing. I mean, super fast. So I knew I wanted to check this out. I lucked out and I found a dealer right in my area who stocks these. So first chance I had, I picked this up. So as you can see, quick look at this real quick. You can see the teeth on this bad boy, very aggressive, double pattern almost, and it's looks like something that could cut through bone or pretty much anything else it encounters with these. So what I want to do today is compare these two folding saws by setting up a shelter. So without further ado, let's get down to business. Okay, an hour and a half later, I got the shelter done and used both of these, the Bahco and the Silky Boy, and I gotta say, this is definitely my hands down favorite. And there's a couple reasons. First of all, look at those teeth. It's crazy. I can go through a tree twice as fast with this than I can with the Bahco. So for the extra $10, I definitely think it's worth it. And secondly, what I really like about this is the fact that the locking mechanism, the Bahco, look at this, it's a push button, right? So you kind of got to have two hands going here, and it kind of get, it gets a little sticky. Now, with the Silky, when I want to open this, click, locking mechanism is right here on the top, so it's thumb driven. All I got to do, just hit the switch, fold it. So it's actually easier to fold, easier to unfold and open than the Bahco. And another thing that's cool that I don't think I've seen anybody mention is the fact that it has two positions. It can lock in that position, and it can also lock in this position for a different angle of cut. So I actually use this, lock out like that, to get at some hard to reach branches that I was having trouble getting at with the Bahco. So overall, man, I gotta say, this might cost about $10 more, but it's definitely better than the Bahco. It's smaller, it's a little more compact, and even this rubberized grip helps you hold on to it a bit better. So if you guys want to check this out, this is the Silky Pocket Boy, and here pretty soon I'll have some links up where to purchase this at. But what am I talking about all this crap for? Let's have a look at the shelter. Alright guys, as you can see, I've gone with my classic lean-to shelter. It's really the easiest and quickest one to build, and the only thing I really did labor intensive was to go ahead and find a good straight piece of heavy tree for my crossbeam. But then everything else, you can see I did a little cutting here and there, but really what I tried to do is focus mainly on finding a dead one on the ground that was nice and straight, and long enough to construct my roof with, because building a primitive shelter is going to be labor intensive. You're going to burn a fair amount of calories in the process, work up a sweat. So why go overboard cutting down a bunch of trees when you can find them on the ground? Lots of dead wood on the ground, so I try to use that as much as possible. And then after I get the roof on, just fill it in with pine, and that's it. It's a wrap. Took about an hour and a half to build, and to be honest with you, that's really all I need out here. And one thing I will note is took a little bit of extra effort and walked down here a ways, collected pine, collected trees, and material for my shelter. But why is that? Because there's no reason to denude this whole area around my shelter. I already had cover here, right? So typically when I set up a shelter, I like to have cover at least on 2 different sides. So there was no reason to chop all this down and then just completely expose my shelter. So took the extra added effort to go ahead and walk around, find dead one on the ground, and cut down cover that was not close to my shelter. And that's how I kind of prefer to do it. But anyways, guys, that's the name of the game. I'm going to go ahead and get a fire started, get myself something to eat because I'm starving. It's about 10 o'clock. I've been out here for about 4 hours now, and it's time for some chow. So anyways, hope you guys liked the review of the Silky. I really liked it myself. I definitely think it's worth the extra $10, and hopefully we should have it for sale pretty soon on our website.